Okay, guys, Tucker Carlson goes scorched earth with Sagar and Jetty absolutely torching Trump and the administration over the Epstein files cover up. Totally wild in his podcast appearance today. Basically, Tucker Carlson accuses Trump and the administration of covering up the Epstein files, saying they're obviously hiding and covering up a pedophile ring, basically, and he's going scorched earth on it. So, just to be clear, what's going on, guys? Of course, Trump and his administration, after campaigning on basically releasing the Epstein files, going to be exposing the truth, they've been basically exposed as total charlatans and frauds, especially guys like Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, who basically said for years that the number one thing they're going to do once they get into the FBI is going to be to release all the Epstein files. Now they're basically just saying, trust me, bro, he killed himself. There's nothing to see here. That's it. That's a wrap. So who the hell believes this? Nobody does. It's so insulting to the American public, frankly. And the fact that they even campaign on it and then they switch everything on a dime once they take power, it just goes to show you how ridiculous this entire farce is. And the president wasn't helping the case at all today. And we're going to show clips from the Tucker Carlson experience of him going in. But Trump himself was not helping his case today at all whatsoever. After today, a reporter asked Pam Bondi a question at a cabinet meeting, and Trump's response was saying it's unbelievable, quote unquote, that people are still talking about Jeffrey Epstein. This is a quote he said, guys. Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste time with answering this? I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this. Are you effing kidding me? The president of the United States, yeah, it is a big deal that your administration is covering up a child pedophile ring, Mr. President, and you're obviously trying to divert all attention from it. Beyond disgraceful. And it only raises more questions about the president and his involvement in this entire thing. What a disgrace. And again, I just think the entire thing is clearly a joke. Of course, Elon Musk said a couple of weeks ago that Trump himself is in the Epstein files. That's why he's not in it. That's why he hasn't released it and is covering it up, obviously. And again, just to be clear, this comes at the same time the Israeli prime minister is at the White House, which raises even more questions. So again, obviously the administration has been caught with their pants down on this. And again, the reason why it's also a joke is they even had the facade and the charade at the White House a couple months ago where they had all these MAGA propagandist influencers out there holding up fake Epstein files saying, oh, this is it. This is the real Epstein files. We have nothing else to show here. Pam Bondi, the attorney general, of course, said she had the client list on her desk. She said she had it and was reviewing it. Now, according to the FBI and DOJ, a couple months later, oh, there is no client list. It doesn't exist. Guys, it's so sloppy. Not to mention the video they released, guys, of outside the jail cell, which who knows where this footage is even from. Maybe it is. It's missing a minute. It's 11:58, 11:59, and they skip over an entire minute in the footage. It's like they're not even trying and they're insulting the public. It's beyond disgraceful. It's beyond disgraceful. Anyone with half a brain can see what's going on here. It's a joke. It's an embarrassment, and there needs to be answers. Guys, and the public needs to keep going with this because this could take down Trump and his administration. This is beyond disgraceful. And I don't agree with Tucker Carlson on a lot of things. Sagar and Jetty too, but you know what? At least Sagar, good on him. He calls out the Trump administration and Trump himself, which needs to be talked about. Even Tucker is kind of 50-50. Like, he's trying not to go full on Trump, but he rips more of the administration. Trump is accountable. He is clearly complicit in this. It's a disgrace. So here's a clip of Tucker Carlson exposing Trump and his administration. Here's a clip, and we'll talk about it after. And guys, by the way, make sure to like and hit that subscribe button. It's super important for the algorithm. Please hit that subscribe button. Make sure to comment. Make sure to like. And my Patreon link is down below if you want to support the channel in that way too. Thanks for watching, guys. Here's a clip, and we'll talk about it after.
The DOJ, the current DOJ under Pam Bondi is covering up crimes. Very serious crimes by their own description. Why are they doing that?
Yeah.
So there are really only two potential explanations that I can think of. Maybe you've got another. The first is that Trump is involved, that, you know, Trump is on the list, that they've got tape of Trump doing something awful. I don't believe that for two reasons. One, I've talked to Trump about it a lot. And I know him. He's not that, you know, for whatever his sins, I don't think he's that guy, actually. I don't think he likes creepy sex stuff. That's just my view. But more, I think, convincing is that this is all information that the Biden administration had. And if there was evidence that Trump had been involved in illegal sexual activity, you think the people who made up Russiagate wouldn't have leaked it?
Right.
Come on now. So the only other explanation that I can think of, again, maybe you've got another, is that intel services are at the very center of this story, U.S. and Israeli, and they're being protected. I think that seems like the most
That's the
plausible.
most obvious. If you have a history of this, there have been multiple documented cases of pedophilia inside of the CIA perpetrated by CIA officers, documented that in many of those cases, I believe over a dozen cases, this was a BuzzFeed news piece years back, where the CIA specifically did not want to prosecute those individuals in federal court for fear that they would reveal sources and methods if they were pulled into open court. And they basically just made it go away. The only time they actually prosecuted somebody for child pornography was whenever he'd already being prosecuted for mishandling classified information.
Well, when they want to crush you, they put kiddie porn in your computer. It's why I don't have a computer. Don't own one.
If you're an
That's
important
why.
person, you should be careful.
No computer in my house.
This is
Okay, again, Tucker says basically there's two possibilities here. Number one, Trump's involved. So, and again, Tucker seems to think that's less likely. Maybe he's just doing cover for Trump, maybe. But I think it's pretty clear that there's at least some sort of involvement there. He's always been very squirmy on the issue. Whenever you ask Trump, dude, what do you think about Epstein? He's always said, yeah, I do think he killed himself. Very trying to avoid the subject almost, very strangely. And Trump also, of course, is known to have been friends with him in the past. That's a fact. When Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested, Trump made a comment basically saying, oh, I wish her well. What do you mean you wish her well? That's a weird thing to say about a sex trafficker, but okay. And even today, again, like I just said, he basically just wants people to stop talking about it. Well, it's not going to work. People are going to keep talking about it because it's a disgrace what your administration is doing. And of course, then Tucker brings up, oh, he's an intelligence asset. That's probably the more likely scenario. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's true because, guys, Maxwell's father was basically a known Mossad agent. Again, the guy got a state funeral in Israel. That's how influential this guy was. Of course, Epstein, nobody knows how he got rich. Nobody knows where he got his money from. Like, literally nobody. Okay. And of course, he was very friendly with very prominent and popular businessmen, tech people. Basically, everyone knew this guy. He knew Trump, of course. So again, the idea that this wasn't some sort of blackmail operation, I think it's patently absurd. And the idea the administration is saying there's not even a client list, I mean, nobody believes that, especially when you have guys like Patel and Bongino for years saying they're going to release everything, and now they have nothing. It's beyond disgraceful. If they had any sort of shame, these people, they would resign from office immediately. It's beyond embarrassing. It's beyond embarrassing. And just to be clear, people like Alex Acosta, the guy who originally gave Epstein the sweetheart deal, he has been known to have been saying in sworn testimony that, yeah, we gave him a sweetheart deal because he's intelligence. That's why we gave him this. That he literally said this. So the people saying, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. No, Alex Acosta, the U.S. attorney who gave him a sweetheart deal, literally said this. It's clearly a cover-up. It's a joke. And it really does have the risk of breaking apart the MAGA movement and coalition, because I'm surprised, maybe you guys are too, there's quite a lot of criticism of the administration for this, even in right-wing circles. So this is a very, very big deal. It's obviously a cover-up, and nobody is buying this, okay? And people say, oh, the Biden administration did the same thing. Well, the Trump administration is the one that closed the case, and they're also the ones that campaigned on it and said they would release everything. You have these people, Alina Habba, of course, Pam Bondi saying, we're going to release everything. And then they have nothing. Of course, people are going to say some things about it. It's a joke. Obviously a cover-up, beyond disgraceful. And this is a really good interview, guys, between Tucker and Sagar here. They go into more details on a number of different things to talk about Israel, for example, and basically just U.S. intervention in some of these conflicts. It gets more interesting. Here's another clip from the podcast, though. It's interesting. We'll talk about it after. Basically, them talking about Ben Shapiro and Dave Rubin basically using the same tactics that they accuse liberals of doing for years, and kind of why they gained prominence. Basically saying, you know, F your feelings. These are the same people that said F your feelings, and they're kind of doing the same exact thing, but with Israeli rhetoric on college campuses. They want to censor speech on college campuses, which I thought was super interesting. Here's a clip, and we'll talk about it after. Sagar and Jetty and Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
10 years later, I watched students literally crying at a podium with the House of Representatives Speaker Mike Johnson next to them, talking about how I didn't feel safe while I was on campus. And it's like, well, why didn't you feel safe? Because people were shouting slogans, again, protesting a foreign government. Now, that's actually a lot more about the psychology of you. But regardless, I mean, did we not live through a decade of snowflake and fuck your feelings? Because I was there for that. And I'm not going to sit here and watch people who made millions of dollars, Shapiro and Dave Rubin and all these other people, making fun of leftist students, only to co-opt the same level of identity politics. And like you said about Harvard, okay?
Okay, so once again, I just think they're just completely right in exposing the hypocrisy here of Shapiro and Dave Rubin, for example, two people. But again, there's many more. But basically saying you're getting mad at speech that people are exercising for protesting against a foreign government on college campuses. And you're getting super offended and mad by it, and you want to deport them, which is what the administration is doing right now, and they're calling for it. Meanwhile, for years, you're getting mad at leftists for basically getting mad at over speech concerns on college campuses as well, owning college kids on college campuses. That's what their entire brand is. And now you're seeing the exact same thing turn on its face of these guys getting offended. It's beyond, it's like we're in fantasy land. It's such a joke and hypocritical. I don't know how people don't like understand this and they don't see this. It's so obvious to anyone paying even a little bit of attention. And even the anti-war stuff. A lot of these people said President Trump will end all wars. What are you talking about? He's ended 0 wars. In fact, he's engaged in a new war with Iran. And there's new reports today, by the way, that Netanyahu wants to restart the war. And frankly, I think you're going to see that probably happen as well. And the final clip I'm going to show you guys is basically of Tucker Carlson saying this also could destroy Trump and his coalition. And he is not supportive whatsoever of what the hell is going on in the Middle East, and basically allowing Israel to go roughshod over U.S. foreign policy here, where the U.S. is bombing Iran. And the Fox News, for example, has pulled off the propaganda trick of, yeah, this is great. Iran is a massive threat to the United States. They're going to nuke the United States. Just total ridiculousness. Guys like Mark Levin pushing war with Iran. I mean, it's just so tired. It's so tired. And the sad thing is, guys, a lot of people, I know you guys don't believe it, but a lot of people actually believe this stuff. They actually believe that Iran, if they get nukes, are going to immediately bomb the United States, not even knowing they can't even reach the United States with the missiles. It's beyond ridiculous. But this is what the propaganda that's being pushed to the American people. They're not even trying. They're not even trying. Here's the final clip, and we'll talk about it.
Of a country of 9 million people above your own in a way that's just insulting.
Yes.
People can't deal with that. Like, their brains start to explode. And I think this is blowing up the coalition. Oh. I hope I'm wrong. I support the coalition. All these people are like, you're not MAGA. Really? Did you campaign for Trump?
Right.
I mean, please.
That's right. I mean,
please, I'm liberal. Okay. But I worry about that. I feel like that's happening.
I think you should be worried about it. And well, look, we can parse these things at a variety of levels. So you said MAGA, and I think that's important. I think the vast majority of people who are self-identified as MAGA, they supported the Iran strikes, and they generally support President Trump, and they have a lot of trust in the man.
They do.
What I keep trying to tell people is people are saying, oh, there's a split in the MAGA, but you said it correctly, the right. And I would look at the right as the coalition that delivered Donald Trump the first popular vote victory since 2004. The margin of anti-war support for Donald Trump is his entire electoral margin in the state of Michigan. The entire electoral margin in the state of Michigan. And I think that his ability to win Michigan twice now, in 3 races, is pretty damn important for looking at the so-called realignment of the white working class and of this new coalition.
Okay. And again, I think he's totally right. I think, again, the fact that Trump sold himself as a guy who's going to bring peace to all these conflicts, but we're still seeing the war in Gaza rage on. We're still seeing Israel looking for war with Iran. We saw that conflict break out and the U.S. getting directly involved with that, not even talking about the amount of money that was used by the United States by moving these carrier groups, the amount of weapons that were used defending Israel, the amount of weapons that were used dropping bombs. It's in the tens of billions of dollars, guys. Meanwhile, these same people are the ones who are mad about giving some money to Ukraine, which is not even comparable on the same scale as the amount of money that was spent over the last month or two defending Israel. It's beyond ridiculous, and people are sick of it. People are sick of the amount of money that is being spent here. At least be consistent with your principles. It is beyond ridiculous, and I think they make a good point. Listen, let's be honest. There's a segment of Republicans who will support Trump no matter what. He could literally take a poop on the American flag and wipe his butt with it, and people will just be fine with it. But there is a segment, and again, it might not even be that big of a segment, but it's enough to swing elections. And that's kind of the point Sagar is trying to make there is true. People are not happy about this. People are not happy about this. Of course, no Democrats are happy about this. It's completely insane what's going on. And it could be the end of his coalition if this keeps up, because this is just more of the same old BS. This is an absolute disgrace. So let me know what you guys think about this, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Tucker Carlson and Sagar and Jetty going in on the Trump administration for covering up the Epstein files. Beyond disgraceful. That's what I got for you guys today. Again, make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. It's super good for the algorithm. My Patreon link is down below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later.